Hold on. Oh God, my cat's killing me. There you go, bud.
That's what we need. A good little bit of cool Johnny Cool grumbling.
We good? Hold on.
What's up, dark judges, desperados, and dudes and dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio, the one and only podcast bringing dread to the dreadless.
Broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
And this is Heavy Metal Kid. And once again, we're coming at you live. Welcome as we discuss two exciting progs, as well as talk about our impressions of the new San Diego Comic-Con Judge Dredd figure, figures, like toy, doll packet from Hiya Toys.
Doll packet.
Tell them all about it, Johnny.
All right, creeps, we are doing procs 2293 and 2294. We're going to wrap up Judge Dredd's special relationship. Brink, Mercury retrograde. There's a fucking heel turn I didn't see coming. Did you? Skip tracers, killing people. Okay. Dexter's predictable ending that I saw coming from last chapter. And Jaeger. It's so murky and swampy, I can smell it.
So much Jaeger on this week's episode that Zach Wilde has been waiting outside of my house all fucking day.
In his kilt?
Man, we skipped out on you last week because we thought, well, you know what? Why not do a giant double-sized episode and give you something to be excited about? And the lovely Chelsea is in the chat. The
SJS
wonderful
in the house.
Paul is in the chat, and Mac Anorak
is here doing community service.
He's here to tell us all the shit that we're going to get wrong this week.
Hope you're ready, Mac.
Before we get started, I think that we should probably just go ahead and lead in. Hey, we got wieners all through the chat, man. This is exciting. Welcome.
Are you in the right chat?
We should talk about these Hiya Judge Dredd figures that we got unknown to each other. We both got them like the same day or a day apart. Now mine,
they shipped them to home office, the CER offices.
Yeah. I feel like Hiya Toys and the discussion of these figures has actually been a pretty big part of our podcast for a good while now, man. It's almost like we touch on this every single week.
We're going on a year, I think, with the
And, we discussed these with, especially on my part, some skepticism, because I've been burned by companies not bringing us fire. But as soon as they just said they were bringing fire, I jumped on the train and pre-ordered. You've got all yours pre-ordered. I didn't get mine from Big Bad Toy Store, believe it or not, though. What happened was I had mine pre-ordered from Big Bad Toy Store. It hadn't shipped yet. And my friend Jason from Kentucky messaged me, and he said, hey, my new comic shop just got this. Do you want me to pick it up for you? And I said, yes. And I canceled my Big Bad Toy Store because I needed it now.
We got it on the same day. You have zero patience.
I know. I have zero patience. But what we're talking about, since nobody can see me here playing with this little toy that I've got in my hand.
I've still, what now?
This is the Judge Dredd and Death San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which, by the way, limited to 3,000, not exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con because they went up for sale everywhere. So let's, this is shit that, they do all the time. Like, oh man, I got the exclusive variant to this convention. Oh, cool. How was the convention? Oh, I just bought it online. Well, what the fuck? Hey, that's good marketing, right?
And pushes the numbers, man, because they're limited. Yeah, anything where on the packaging it's printed limited and collector's item, it's going to be a limited collector's item. Yeah. Tell that to all my Spawn figures.
Limited to 3,000 copies. My question is, what are they going to do with the other 2,000 copies that since all the Judge Dredd fans can get one now?
Send them to CER headquarters, care of Cool Johnny Cool and Heavy Metal Kid.
Yeah, and it looks like Mac also got his. So this is cool because we're all sitting here laying eyes on these for the first time. And I would say, Johnny, I am something of a 2000 AD and Judge Dredd figure aficionado at this point because I have so many. I
do?
have the 3A ones.
You got it right. You got it right this week.
I have all the I have all the sideshow statues. I have the shittiest, some sort of Comic-Con exclusive ones that are made out of like a hard resin, and I know any moment they're just gonna fall. So I know my Dredd figures, and I was a little nervous about these going in because my thought was, are they going to be super duper cheap? And it appears based on the chat that I'm the only one that's taking these out of the package, right?
Yeah, because mine's still in its eggy work from orc shaped packaging.
Yeah, and actually the chat's saying it's Boeing, which is pretty cool.
Well, I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Although Anderson should be in here if it's Boeing.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, they should really do like an Anderson and a Boeing coffin. But when something like this comes out, my fear is always, well, my biggest gripe, and I shouldn't be griping about Dredd figures, but I've got so many, and these really did look a whole lot like the Mezco ones, the 3A ones, and I'm like, God damn it, do we need another Dredd that looks exactly the same? But quite honestly, as I'm looking at it here, it's clearly its own sculpt. The face is a lot less goofy than the Mezco one, and I would even say maybe a little bit less goofy than the 3A one. Although, if you're talking what is the greatest Dredd figure ever made, it's definitely going to be a fight between the 3A and the Mezco. But that's not what this is about. This is about building your whole force.
Yeah, man.
And with this like size, what are these, 3.5 inches?
They are, I think, 4 or 5.
Okay. It's
they're 1/18 scale, so I think they're 5 inches.
Yeah, and so the question is, are you going to get a good amount of detail on these? And these are actually pretty detailed, man. You can see the little buckle or little buttons on Dredd's pouches. His badge looks nice and clean. I'm not a huge fan of the black and white, but that's the only way you can get this iconic sort of Dredd versus death pose with a little fart ghost tail. But and I'll get into how they feel out of the package. But what are your impressions, man? First,
well, since mine are still boinged up, the sculpts are really good. I don't know anything about the articulation yet because I haven't opened them. But there is a bevy of extra like hands and day stick. You get the lawgiver in there. They look really good. Like Hiya, it's like when Warlord took over the Dredd tabletop. They know what they're doing. They obviously enjoy the product, they have a connection to it, and they're doing it justice. So I think this is a hell of a step for the first figure out for the collection.
Yeah, and I think we're all on team open your toys, right?
I am, but there's that little vestigial bit of me that's like, you got to keep it in the box.
And
our daughter to college. That's
well, and I think honestly for these, and I'm team keep your shit, open your shit and play with your shit, and
that's why we can't go to that Costco anymore.
The team Gigi Allen.
Oh no.
The whole thing that I had questions with these, and my fear for figures made of this material and this small is I got burned a long time ago on the Evil Dead. The Army of Darkness figures, and I want to say they were Mezco. I don't remember.
You brought these up, and I don't remember these things at all.
So this was during a time. This was before everybody was really into horror pop culture. I mean, it was like. It's just such a bigger business now. Like,
so we're talking 99, 2000, somewhere in there.
It was certainly around in the 2000s at least. And it was like shit that they would sell at Spencer's, but they were like little army builders. So you would get like an Army of Darkness knight and a little scrawny scorched skeleton guy with a helmet, or you would get Ash and one of the Deadites. And it was like there was a really nice, vast array of figures. They had cool weapons and little spears. And so I would compare these out of the package to those. And when I say I got burned by those, the only thing that I mean is that some of the figures in those sets, and especially the little skeleton guys, they weren't going to stand up no matter what you did. And so if I have a fear for the Hiya toys going forward, I feel like the bigger, beefier figures are going to have no problem standing, but I worry about our boy Fire. Now, I can't make any predictions. I will say these guys, some of their joints are a little loose. So like, if I'm holding Dredd by 1 foot and I wiggle him around, the figure kind of flops around back and forth. But I did put him, he's got a hole in one of his feet, and I put him, you can hear it here.
Satisfying.
It is satisfying. His foot fits nice and snugly into the little peg. And my skeptical nature was looking at this picture that they put out of Judge Death wrapped around him, standing up, and I'm going, there's no fucking way that if I wrap Death around Dredd, that I'm A, going to be able to get that pose, and B, is he going to stand up? But I'll tell you, Death's little fart ghost tail is bendy. The upper body, the upper torso, where you look at it on the promo shot they did, where it's like facing Dredd, you can certainly make that happen, because not only is it like bendy, but it's almost like you can sort of manipulate the little ghost body to go whatever way you want. It's articulated at below the belt and above the belt. It's got pretty good articulation in the arms. So what I'm saying is, if you're looking at that skeptical like I was and going, is there any fucking way that this is actually going to stand? I think it's possible. I certainly think it's possible for you to put Dredd's foot in the little peg. He's going to stand up. Like, it's not coming off here. It's really strong. And man, I think with the right amount of care and attention, you're going to be able to get that pose, and he's probably going to stand up. If you bump your shelf, he's probably going to come out of that pose, and maybe Death's going to fall down. But I'm telling you, man, it is possible. The only issue I'm having right now is his right arm, which would be the arm that holds the gun. I can't really get it to bend right at the elbow to kind of match that pose, because his fucking elbow pad is gigantic and beefy. But again, I think if you fuck around with these guys a little bit,
you will find out.
You're going to be able to get that pose. And that was my thing. I really went in skeptical. I've been kind of skeptical of Hiya toys because
we know
it's been a thing for me. These little bases that he comes with 2 bases. They link up together. They're little clamps, so they link up. Hopefully the whole series has those. The hand that holds the gun also holds the day stick just fine. And last but not least, the one other little concern that I had was putting the gun into Dredd's boot holster. And once again, man, I think that's going to be possible. I'm a little nervous about bending the end of the gun, but it kind of looks like it's doable. So overall, man, I think if you are the kind of guy that wants to take these out of the package and display them, you're going to be okay. It does have me thinking and reconsidering, though, whether or not I just want to leave them in the package, because they look good. And again, I had an experience where I had all these little Deadites sitting on a shelf, and what a pain in the ass it was to dust, and they would get knocked over.
Have you seen my game room?
Yeah, right. You're all your Transformers. Yeah. I'm still on the fence, but after having seen these in the flesh, I'm definitely going to buy every single one, but I don't know if I'm going to keep them out of the package or not. These guys, of course, I have no choice. If I had it to do over again, I might keep them in the package, but I don't know, man. I don't know where I'd display shit in the package. So I'm on the fence, but these are nice, man. These are really nice. I'm
really happy with the visual on them. When I got the package and I was looking at the figures in it, I looked at Death and I got pissed off. And I want to tell you why. And I got pissed off over Old Damage. So like me, you probably had some G.I. Joes growing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember the Cobra Law trio? Nemesis Enforcer, the Guard, and Globulus?
Oh, yeah.
Remember how Globulus had that long snake tail that in the promo photos showed it was bendable? And the toy... Yeah, as soon as I saw Death's tail, my 7-year-old CJC in my head was going, "Son of a bitch!" Like,
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the no Globulus guarantee on Judge Death. If there's one thing, and I was skeptical about it because it looks so plasticky and hard that I didn't think it was going to be bendable at all. It's actually quite bendable, and it's not the same kind of shit that was in Globulus. Like it
Which
is
was
a
nothing.
hard, like you can kind of hold it up to the light and look through, and it looks like a pretty substantial metal rod in there. So, oh yeah, man, you can get that, and that's the thing. When if you look at that promo shot that they put out for this, the tail's like really tightly wrapped around Dredd's foot, and I'm telling you, you can get that. But you may even have to break out some pliers to get that really sharp sort of wrap around there. But it's definitely possible on this. Like I don't feel like they used any trickery to do that. I feel like somebody just fucked with it a whole bunch because it's definitely possible.
You hit him with a hair dryer, it makes him a little more pliable too. So
maybe on the I don't know though. The way this tail's made, it's like it's just a really heavy metal rod inside. But yeah, no, I'll give you the no globulus guarantee on that one. So if you decide to open it, you can totally recreate it.
I still have trauma about globulus to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, you can never play with him, man. He just laid there like a big green turd.
He just looked like something that you accidentally found in your mom's room. And
I think at some point I put legs on him because I got another Cobra Law guard and just put his legs on globulus so he could actually stand up.
Yeah, because the other alternative is you're having your big battle and globulus is just laying there like a piece of shit. Yeah. So I don't know, man. This is cool. It's nice to have some Dredd figures. And I was really, when I moved into my new place, I sold and gave away like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of unboxed figures.
You sure did. And that Michael Myers, Loomis Myers porch thing went to the wrong fucking guy.
I know. Yeah, I'm never gonna live that down. But it was one of those things where I was like, man, I'm just tired of having loose figures. And so that was going into this. It was a really hard sell for me to get these because I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. And I've even considered maybe gluing them down, once I put them on the bases and get them how I want. If I open, maybe I'll glue them down. But I don't know, man. I'm still considering keeping them in the packages because the packaging's nice. I don't feel like it's
weird, the packaging, at least for me. I'm used to US blister cards, like the rectangular blister cards. Yeah. So when this thing popped out of the box, and I went, why are Joe and Sydney in this fucking Mork from Ork egg?
Well, it's helmet shaped.
I get that. I get that, but all I could see was Mork from Ork and Mork and Mindy.
Right.
I was like, what the hell, man?
Based on how these are packaged, though, I honestly think I feel like these are designed to be opened.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at the 3A guys, those were very clearly designed to be kept in their cards. The cards were the heaviest cards I've ever seen on anything. And of course, as soon as I got those, I opened them up and went, fuck, I should have left them in. But that's always the struggle, man. It's like you want to take something out and play with it. Like I see these guys online who will buy figures and then like put them on a shelf sideways and you can't even see it.
Oh, the wrestling fig guys. Yeah, I don't get those dudes.
Yeah, I don't get those dudes either.
You've seen my collection. It's almost entirely open because it doesn't look cool in a box. I have a couple things I kept in boxes just because they did such a good job on the packaging. There's like, I can't fucking open this and it'll damage it. But yeah, I think this set is a great first shot for Hiya. I'm glad you're finally on team. I don't know if you saw, but they put up the pre-order for the black and white Judge Death today.
Yeah, and yeah, man, they weren't going to get me easily because
I'm not getting that one.
I was with Hiya. I was like, all right, man. They're the first releases that they did. I was like, we've seen these guys. And then here they did every Dark Judge. And I was like, I know where this is fucking going. No, Fire made it. So I'm going to say, Hiya's doing it right. And then it just got better from there. Judge Cal, a Clegg, like all those great figures. So yeah, I'm going to support these just so that hopefully they keep getting to make figures. But
I want to see where the road goes, because if we're getting Cal, I want Slocum. I want. Are we going to get a Judge Heston? Are we going to get a Dirty Frank? There's so many figs that they could do.
In a perfect world,
Judge Quincy, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love, man, yeah. And
in
in a
his
perfect
underwear.
world too, they do the world of 2000 AD figures, and we get a Vex, and I
Oh
mean,
my
of
God.
course,
Midnight.
it goes without saying you're going to get a Slain if they, if they went that route. You get a Slain, you get a Rogue Trooper, but there's a lot of stuff that conceivably may never get figures, and I wish they'd go that route with it. So.
I mean, we've got a legitimate shot because they've already given us Judge Giant, for God's sake. And I mean, that was us. You guys are welcome. We made that happen. We pulled some strings.
Yeah.
We complained, and totally taking the credit for that one. So
yeah, some people in the chat are checking them out. And Paul says, Judge Cal looks awesome. Yeah, Judge Cal was maybe one of the most unexpected, and they did it right because you get to Judge Fish.
I
and
know,
it's just
man.
wow.
I wonder if we'll get a Fergie if we're stuff like that.
I think it's just got to depend on how many people go out and try to support this thing. So that's,
and at $20 a fig,
yeah,
they're highly detailed. Sculpts are great. Packaging's great. It's not a huge investment because most of the Dredd figures are like what, $100, the 3A stuff. They were up in that neighborhood, right?
At this point now,
no, it's not like secondary market, like initial purchase price.
I want to say they were $75 or $80.
Yeah, that's prohibitive for most non-nerds, unlike us. But this is like a Target or Walmart or whatever the equivalent is in the rest of the world, that kind of store. This is that kind of price point where most people can go, oh yeah, that looks cool, $20, I can swing that.
Yeah, well, and I went to, when I finally made the decision to go do the ordering, I got on the Big Bad Toy Store site, and I was like, all right, fuck it, here we go. And I added everything minus the black and white guys, and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do. And then I look at my cart and it's like, oh, $180. And I mean, like,
yeah,
I know that can be a lot, but in the world of, if you want to get a Dredd figure, before they started doing a lot of these, it's like you go and you buy, there's like one big Dredd statue that was real kind of goofy looking, and I forget what it was, like Mega City Masters or something like that. And you're paying $150 to $200 even for that, or you're going after the old I don't even remember the company that made them, but they did like a Dredd and a Slain and a Rogue Trooper. Those were kind of hard to find for a while. So there for a while, it was not easy to find Dredd toys, and for whatever reason now there's just been an explosion, and the Dredd game, and now we've got a Slain game happening out there for Warlord toys. So yeah, now's the time if you're a 2000 AD fan to start picking this stuff up, because I've seen the secondary market stuff, like you said, man. Like if you want the original, I think it was Mongoose Dredd miniatures game, like those miniatures are going for a fuck ton, and it's not because it was so popular, it's because they didn't sell a ton and now they're hard to find. So
well, hell, 3A years ago did a Michael Myers from Halloween 6. It was I think $175, and I couldn't get it at the time, so I said I'll get it on the secondary market. You can't get near that thing for less than $500 now. And so the time to get it is when you see it. Take it from two seasoned nerds. If you think it's expensive now, wait until the secondary market. I should have backed that Hasbro HasLabs Unicron for $700 when it came out, because now it's going for $2,500.
Oh my God, yeah. And these little figures, actually, smaller ones, are a little bit kind of like nostalgic for me, because I think I talked about this on the like our Cursed Earth Origins thing that we did, which I don't know if it's still up there or not, but there was a point when like I'd seen the movie and I kind of was like, oh, okay, thanks, Stallone, whatever, it's fine. But they did release little packs of Dredd figures that were kind of like half Stallone movie, half like comic accurate. And I bought them all, and I was like really like enamored with them, and I was just a huge fan.
Little minifigs, right?
Yeah.
They did the quintessential US thing where the comic book movie comes out and they get all these weird decos. Like there was a hazmat judge in fucking green, but they had a Hammerstein, right? They had a Hammerstein. They had a Mean. They had a Fergie. I remember being pissed off. That's all we got. But I was like, it's Judge Dredd in a store in America. I mean, I guess
man.
you got to take the wins when you get them.
I remember, going back to my local place and just trying to collect every single pack and being really excited. So having like these smaller ones, it's kind of exciting. So also hello to Kim B, who says that she's listening over across the pond in London. Cool. And
Awesome.
I think
Thanks for stopping by.
Maybe your first time in the chat. So prepare for lots of stupid wiener jokes. So I guess we can move on to the Prog, but it was a pretty exciting week for the two of us finally getting to hold these things in our hands after pretty much discussing them on every single episode.
It's been about a year since they announced. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. Right now is the best time in the history of 2000 AD to be a fan of 2000 AD and Judge Dredd. It's such a great time. Yeah. There's so much available. The stories are great. We've got some good movies out of it. We've got some awesome ephemera to collect. So this is the best time ever.
Certainly is. And especially with someone like Paul Marshall and Dylan Teague working on art and colors on 2000 AD's issue 2293. What'd you think of that cover?
It's definitely a cover. It's definitely Skip Tracer. The art's great, but it's Skip Tracer. So I'm kind of like, okay, there he is. Look at him go. So are we going to do the thing when we do two progs where we just go both chapters of the story?
Yeah, well, let's just do, rather than taking a little backtrack sort of approach, let's do that. And I guess since we're going to do that, let's also, because I don't know, man, I just feel like it's part of our process to talk about the cover for each 2000 AD that week. So we gave that shout out. And then of the two covers, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think my favorite one was for 2294. Yeah. And not just because, we have not fallen in love yet with Skip Tracer and time is running out. But also
well, we ain't gonna make that train.
Right. Also because it's quite grim, and so we'll also give a shout out to Alex Ronald with the Jaeger cover that he did.
The art, that cover, and even the art in Jaeger, you can smell like the swamp musk and mold and mildew. Just you can smell the green. At least I can. I can feel the heat, and it's so Apocalypse Now, and love it. Yeah.
And so this week, and I think I was talking to you about it, I've been on a big goat penis kick. And for anybody getting a little too excited out there, Goat Penis is a band. And they're a war metal band. And they're not only they're from Brazil. They're not only a war metal band, they're the war metal band where other bands walk around wearing puny bullet belts. Goat Penis likes to wear entire grenade belts live on stage. Well, so
I mean, have you seen Sabaton? They've got a goddamn tank on stage.
Oh my God, yes, but they would not survive a war against Goat Penis. Let me just tell you. But Goat Penis did a record that I sent you called Apocalypse War, and unfortunately, it's not about the Judge Dredd Apocalypse War. It's an Apocalypse Now themed record, but the perfect thing to listen to while reading Jaeger and looking at these amazing covers.
I can hear Goat Penis's streaming numbers going up right now.
Right. I'm not sure that Goat Penis is streaming, but
I've heard that's all it does.
Yeah. Yo, Jim Boswell's in the chat, our beloved Color King and greatest pal from Proteus Vex, and he's working on Vex right now, so he can't stick around. But yeah, man, we've been stalking the Proteus Vex team because we're seeing all kinds of cool looking characters. And
Jim gave us a double wiener in the chat. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, we got a double wiener.
That is the most trying part of our friendship, is that I know that Jake and Jim and Michael know what happens, and especially Michael, that what happens in the next chapter, and everything in me wants to ask because I hate waiting, but I have to be a good friend and not abuse the privilege. So.
True. And I don't know if I've told you this, Johnny, but I've been trying to get
Goat Penis.
I've been trying to get Jim's new nickname to be Jim Color King Boswell, and I've been toying with like a good a Jake Lynch name, and I can't come up with a name. But there was a point in time where I was like, what if all the Jake Lynch fans called themselves the Lynch Mob? And then I was like, I don't know if that still works in 2022 like it did in 1980s.
Probably shouldn't do that. Probably shouldn't do that.
The new Proteus Vex rules, hashtag Lynch Mob. Just probably not a good thing to do. I mean, there's a band called Lynch Mob. Nobody gives them.
Yeah, but that's his last name.
Yeah. Well, that's his last name, bro.
Okay, you got me too. God damn. I got no good argument. Probably not a good in this woken time that we live in. Probably not a good thing. Let's just call Jake Wiener One Lynch.
That's the worst name for a club ever. Jake.
That seems like Jake a club Wiener that you would be Lynch? Enthusiastic about.
I don't know. We're going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, before Color we ruin their careers.
Color King works just fine, but I'm still working on something. We got to have something, but I wish we lived at a less terrible time where we could just call ourselves the Lynch Mob, but I don't know. We don't want to get anybody canceled.
Yeah, we're not going to get anybody canceled. We would have been canceled by now. Nobody's listening to us.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we got good points in the chat. The fact that we're two white guys,
also good, not good for Caucasians.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
I know. Okay.
All right.
We'll go back to the drawing board. Maybe we'll do a poll, but right now,
a wiener poll.
Judge Dredd special relationship.
Oh my God. This was a weird story, was it not? Like it just. They fucking Universal monstered us.
I liked it because it subverted all expectations, and it also very clearly defined the fact that this guy is absolutely Dredd's counterpart.
Oh yeah.
He's the Brit-Sit version of Dredd, and
Charles. His name is Charles, sir.
Of course it is.
They shot me, Charles.
We end up, they're having this bloody battle over the tunnel, and Mega City is completely outnumbered. Brit sits right next to an ammo dump, so things aren't looking good, and people are dying, and Dredd doesn't give a fuck. And here's what I walked away with on this. So real quick summary of what happens in these two stories, and then we'll discuss all the little elements. There's a real bloody battle. Someone is shot. Charles is going, all right, Dredd, don't shoot. A medic is coming through, and Dredd doesn't give a fuck about that medic, so he's firing on the medic.
Puts one over his head.
B doesn't give a fuck about his own judge who's bleeding out and says, hey, just give me to the medic. And he's like,
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Say that. Yeah. And so it's this, bloody battle, and Dredd is willing to let this entire fucking thing sink to the bottom of the ocean with 400 people inside. And then we cut to a peace talk or a negotiation between Brit-Sit and Judge Logan, Chief Justice Logan. And then all of a sudden, Dredd and one judge walk out, and we're going, oh, fuck. Are they surrendering? Are they walking out to take their last stand? Nope. It turns out they came to an agreement, and both Dredd and Charles stand down. No hard feelings. We're judges. Hey, business as usual. And it says a lot about Dredd and Charles both in terms of, what they're all about as characters.
It was the most possible Judge Dredd ending there was. They are just there to do a job. There's no emotion attached for either person, and their respective chief justices called it in. We've reached an accord, and that was it. Fucking put them down.
It was seriously like, it was like, hey, good game. It was that kind of thing.
It was so quintessentially Judge Dredd, because the whole thing did build us to, and when I said the Universal monster ending us, it wasn't in a negative connotation like I usually did that. It was, that was a very, very proper Universal monster ending. And you know, it's the fact that they just cold stopped it. It's just they are just following orders. It's just a job. They do whatever the CO tells them to, and their CO said stand down, so they fucking stood down. but both sides went in hot and heavy at the first because they were just following orders.
Yeah. And the interesting thing that I think we got out of this, like, we were talking about, man, wouldn't it be cool if Dredd and Charles have a team up? Because I like both of these guys. I like Brit Sit version of Dredd. I want a buddy cop version with these guys. I want them to go on an adventure together. That didn't happen. We thought, oh man, maybe they're going to get into.
It's just Joe trying to shave his mustache off for a whole week.
Yeah, or are they going to get into a day stick fight? And everyone's going to stand around, and that's how they're going to settle it. But with this, what happens is all of a sudden Brit Sit and Mega City aren't on good terms, and maybe Brit Sit's been chatting with East Meg, and all of a sudden, like, the implications of this are huge.
Yeah,
just it's not some big action ending, but it's an ending that goes, oh fuck, this could lead to all kinds of things.
Yeah, because we as the reader know that there have been 2 East Meg bodies in play on the Brit Sit side, talking them into storming the colony base to trying to take over the Atlantis tunnel. And now we have hostile relations between Brit Sit and Mega City 1, where they've got armed encampments at either end of the checkpoint tunnel, guarding their respective end. And you've got East Meg stirring up some shit. So they're obviously doing a long play. They're going to try some shit. I mean, Chaos Day wasn't enough for them. Now they're just going to start turning all the other Sits against the Meg, it looks like.
Yeah, it's North Korea stuff, North and South Korea. It's like, in some ways, an American comic, a Marvel comic, something like that, would have ended with a big battle, or like I said, they're going to be out there karate chopping each other and day sticking each other. But instead, what we got was something that's going to just simmer and boil and be a huge, it has all kinds of huge potential to bring us all kinds of other stories that are going to have bigger implications. So, it's wide open now for some gigantic calamitous event coming. Yeah. I would love a little deviation though, man. I would love to just spend a few more issues with Charles on his daily judge routine, because I like this character. I think he looks super fucking cool too. I want him to get his own series, and I want it to be called, are you ready for it? Oh God, I know what it is. Charles in Charge. Yes, I knew it. Yeah. That's a completely US thing for a Brit comic to do, but my God, it'd be hilarious. Yeah, man. Oh my God. That's what we want. Can we also discuss the fact that Mega City 1 sent these judges into the fucking Black Atlantic to go swimming with more goddamn armor than they ever wear on the streets of the Meg? Yeah, man. Maybe they were like the orange floaties that we had to wear in the pool when we were kids. We don't know. I could just see them dropping out of the ship and just sinking like rocks to the bottom. Right. What the fuck came up with this? Apparently they were also all carrying explosives too. So yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That's our Joe. Kick him in the nuts and nuke him. Yeah. They must be some fucking Michael Phelps swimmers out here, man. I don't know. There was that one fat judge, but that was in Chimsky. He got assigned to Chimsky's block because he was fat. I love that guy. Judge Bumblefuck. I don't remember his name, but it's like, yeah, man, that's the only way you get to be a judge that looks and acts like that, is if there's a heroic, beautiful, angelic chimp guarding your entire block. And thank God for Chimsky. When are we getting another Chimsky story, man? I fucking love that little monkey. Yeah. I want him and Chet and Mr. Grofaz back in the pages in 2000 AD. Yeah, man, they really were. They deserve to be in that Christmas issue, and Chimsky and his whole crew, like, they are a much needed boost of positivity in the Judge Dredd Mega City universe. And I'm always afraid that it's going to be his very last. He's going to Chimsky his last Chimsky, man. I'm always worried. I'm waiting for Hiya to give us a 3-pack of Gnome, Grofaz, and Chet and try to pass that shit off. Why did you make a Hitler action figure? Right. He's not a Hitler. He's not Hitler. He's a child's entertainer that's dressed like Hitler. Yes, and that would coincide with we've got a special guest artist who designed these. It's Jake Lynch, and then we drop our hashtag, and everybody is canceled everywhere.
It's all part of the big play.
Oh God damn it!
So man, we got Brink. Oh man, do we have Brink?
Yeah, man. It was winding. The screws were just tightening and tightening in this one, man. And I thought we were headed towards the thing that we've discussed so many times, which is our man here just ending up in a kook cube.
Oh, and with our dude Ledden playing him as a patsy, setting him up for a fall.
Yeah,
and it was going to be a harder fall than I had assumed. Where, oh no, we're not just going to patsy you. They're going to find your body, but they're going to need dental records to identify you. Yeah. And then we'll discredit your entire existence and everything you've ever done. And I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't want him to die like this. But then our boy Nolan Maslow goes Bash at the Beach Hulk Hogan, NWO 1996, and flips the script. Oh, that last panel got me.
Man, and that's the thing. It's just like, it just keeps coiling around itself and twisting and turning. And like, that is what keeps bringing us back to Brink. And it's the reason why, this non-action based comic keeps us, this very wordy, it's just like,
except for that one issue I got.
Yeah, except for the issue you got where your app wasn't working and there was no dialogue.
I just thought it was avant-garde.
Yeah. Wow, this is a great choice this week. Yeah.
Am I supposed to infer the story? That's really bold of them. No, stupid. Your PDF didn't download correctly. Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. This is Brink is always one of those stories where, if somebody just tries to read a few Prog's worth of Brink, they're going to be like, it's whatever, it's just too hard to follow. Brink is one of those stories where you read it through, and then when you're done, you go back and you read it from the beginning, and you find stuff that you didn't even realize, because they drop a lot on you. They definitely expect you to be on your fucking toes while you're reading Brink. Dude,
that last where Evan Ledden's laying out what they're going to do to Maslow and how they're going to frame him. And he's given Nolan the water that he claimed was laced with psychotropics that we found out early in the story. And Nolan, who is smarter than we gave him credit for, because we always thought it was hubris that was getting him there. But no, he's smart, man. Yeah. When he say, "Oh, so it's everywhere, huh?" Well, I have one more thing to tell you. All right. Vovek sent me, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Yeah. And immediately I went, "No, he's not actually sect, but he knows enough. He knows things he shouldn't know about sect that Evan Ledden doesn't know he knows." Yeah. Now he can flip this whole thing on its head. And I was like, man, that's fucking brilliant. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like, everything is so convoluted, and there's so many different, people playing other people that, it's almost like his strength is the fact that he got in over his head, and he's been played by every single person, and so he's got all of their angles figured out. And yeah, man, I didn't necessarily think, and we may still see some twists and turns, but I kind of expected him to be, take the fall for something and then be, in an isolation cell somewhere, claiming that he knows all of this stuff, and people going, oh, he dug too deep and he lost his mind. But no, man, he's got a plan for a reason. Do you think they set this character up to the point where, I didn't even see this coming until as we're discussing it, but maybe they set the character up to be kind of like a little bit of a, where he kind of fucked up before and he kind of chased something that really wasn't there and he got people in trouble and all this stuff, so that this time he could be right and this time he could be vindicated and kind of come out looking more like a hero. Cause I've just this whole time been like, this poor fucker. Once we hit that panel where he pulled the Vovek card, I was like, oh, maybe this whole time it's been a setup for his, Phoenix from the Ash moment. Yeah. Where he gets exonerated and vindicated and everything. So man, I'm dying for next week. I can't wait to see where next week's chapter goes.
You think his lady's still alive?
I'm leaning more towards yes now.
Yeah.
Because they were initially going to go after her, Evan Ledden said, and then they couldn't get to her, so they got to him. So I think she's still alive.
Oh,
I'm not even sure Jen Tao has anything to do with this at this point. I don't know who. I'm guessing that's who his corporate masters are, but I can't tell because there's too many sands that are shifting.
What if she emerges and it turns out she's behind
everything?
Yeah. Fuck. This is what Brink is supposed to do to you.
We're satanic panicking again in a good way.
Yeah, we certainly are, man. So yeah, this is great. How many more do we have? Do we have one?
I'm guessing at least 2 or 3. I'm guessing because Starg didn't say anything about being the penultimate installment, which would be the next to the last. Yeah. So he usually makes an announcement of the coming end of a story in the note if some people would ever read it.
Yeah, I never read it. Yeah,
I know.
I just assume if it's on that first page, I don't need to know it. Just like with most books and also most menus, because on most menus, what's on the first page? Appetizers and alcoholic beverages. I'm skipping straight to the meal.
But I like fried cheese sticks.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And if you read the first page, you would know that your favoriteest story of all time is coming back with its spinoff, Explorers, again.
Are we talking about Red Road?
No, you're ironic. You're not actual favorite story, but the one you love to hate.
Are we talking about Survival Geeks?
Yep.
Bro, they promised.
But no, it's Explorers, the children of the Survival Geeks in the next All Ages Prog. And I
was going to say, it better be in the fucking All Ages Prog. And listen, man, I'm not talking shit on Survival Geeks, but it should have been in the All Ages Prog the whole goddamn time. Oh, man. I don't want to watch The Big Bang Theory, and I don't want to read Survival Geeks.
You're only saying that because Big Bang's on right before AEW.
I am, and I got irritated the other day. So I didn't know The Big Bang Theory until I started watching AEW. I didn't realize it was also these are like old reruns, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, this is fucking terrible.
It's bad.
Oh my God. So I stuck around after AEW once, and what comes on afterwards is a spinoff called Young.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. And I got irrationally mad, and I messaged my wife, and I was like, this sounds crazy, but I have a deep-seated hatred for this show, Young Sheldon. Or I said, for this show and this little bastard that plays in it, and I don't know why. And she goes, what show? And I said, Young fucking Sheldon. And she goes, oh my God, that's so old. She's like, that's so old that it's been over for a long time. And I was like, well, it's new to me, God damn it. And I hate it.
And this hate isn't here. And it's now. Now, my parents, my dad especially, loves Big Bang Theory. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I can't with it. It makes me want to punch nails through my head. So I like stuff like It's Always Sunny, stuff that's abrasive and absurdist and like weird and terrible. So I showed my parents my favorite episode of Sunny, and they were like, this isn't funny. And I said, well, what do you find funny? And they showed me an episode of Big Bang Theory, and I got up and left. Yeah. So I fucking can't with you.
That was the last time you ever spoke with your dad. That was it.
We're done here. We are done here.
Ripping families apart. You know what though? Like, there's a weird part of me though that, like, I will say that, yeah, it's like old people shit, right? But I love Andy Griffith and I love Gomer Pyle. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old.
You're in another realm of your own.
Yeah. Yeah. I will try to watch Andy Griffith a lot, and my wife is like, I am not fucking watching this. Like, this is dumb and it's old. And I'm like,
well, so am I.
They had a lake monster in Mayberry once. Like, that's almost a horror movie episode. Let's watch that. No.
Dude, I'm guilty. I put on MeTV way too much because Fingooli's on Saturday nights, but they also run fucking the OG Star Trek and the '66 Batman and Lost in Space and Buck Rogers. And I start watching that, and the next thing I know, I'm fucking watching Wagon Train and Adam 12. Like,
and
shit.
here we are, man, talking about how shitty the Big Bang Theory is, but Wagon Train. Yeah.
Let's get back to the Prog, I guess.
Yeah, let's get back to Skip Tracer this week and last week.
Sure are killing everybody off.
Man, is it my just being tired of Skip Tracer, or was this like 2 episodes worth of him walking away for like to give the final sacrifice, but it was just like it happened twice?
Well, we had to kill 2 people off in those chapters, but we got to see Nimrod without his Deathlock face in Valhalla. He doesn't get to go to the nice house because he killed everybody there. So, but he's still there.
He did make it to Valhalla. See, like when you're talking about going to Valhalla, this noble, place where warriors go when they die, they don't tell you that like there's, you still make it there. You just don't make it to the nicest place. Yeah.
And you got to do chores, man. You got to fucking fix the fucking tractor. That's eternity. And it's always broken, and you always got to fix it.
And I mean, it's better than like the Christian version of hell. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Got to fix the tractor versus whatever, burning for all eternity. Yeah, I'll take that.
I don't know. Dante's hell, the circles had some interesting options. You could stay in the virtuous pagans level on one and just kind of be hot.
Yeah. There's one, was it not like some politician that was like just constantly shitting in his own mouth or something?
Yeah, I forget which circle that is.
Yeah. I mean, I run in a few different circles. None of them are okay with that. So it's a totally different circle than those that I like to run in. But what would your personal hell be, Johnny?
This right now. This is hell. It'd be watching Big Bang Theory with my dad and having him guffaw laugh while I want to put my thumbs through my eyes.
Yeah.
It'd be good to be there with him, but if I had to watch the Big Bang Theory, I'd probably have to sit on a shotgun and pull the trigger with my big toe.
Yeah. I personally have decided, and I was telling my wife about this completely unrelated the other day, but my personal hell, and this is 100%, this is my personal hell. I'm at a show in my gear that I wear playing in the band that I'm in, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready to play. There are 8 bands ahead of me. And there are 2 people that showed up to the show. And I have to wait through those bands knowing that no other people are coming. And I'm just going to go up there and probably play to 2 people after waiting through 8 bands. So my own personal hell is playing a show booked by a shitty promoter.
We've all been in that hell, though. You and I have both been in that hell more than once.
Oh yeah, man.
Sometimes the local Misfits cover band gets to play Descending Angel 8 fucking times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my personal hell, man. Can't handle it.
Oh man, being a band, they said it'll be fun. They said
sure, yeah. So yep, Skip Tracer. Nolan's going on Death or Glory. We'll see what happens.
The green dildo key will take us to oblivion.
Yep.
I got to respect them though. For this is the last story. We're killing everybody. Just one chapter at a time. Everyone's going to the Valhalla there.
Yeah, man, it's going out like ultimatum.
So is he going to drive the ship through the other ship where his daughter is and just fucking grease everyone?
Man, I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine with it.
I'm so detached. I don't care. Is it done? I don't care.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm more attached to Skip Tracer than I am to Dexter. I hate to say this, man. I've stopped reading Dexter for a long time.
When we got to this week's chapter, like with everything that's gone on, and they've convinced the 2 gangs to try to sort themselves out and the power play, yada, yada, yada. And then they get taken. As soon as I started this week's chapter, I went, it's going to be the other girl and the fucking Sailor Moon robot. And they're going to come in, and sure enough, sure as shit, who comes in to save the day, but Sailor Moon robot and the other girl.
Man, it's the I just and I think the Sailor Moon robot was the beginning of me being like, I don't want to read this. And strangely enough, the Sailor Moon ish character who looks like the Sailor Moon robot from Dexter, I think was the reason that I had trouble getting into Skip Tracer, because I'm like, are these two stories that I don't really
Oh
have any
yeah.
connection to bleeding over into one another?
Or is it just me? No, I remember that. That was the one where Skip Tracer was the bodyguard, and we could not get ourselves to care.
You know what? We were trying on that one too. And
We
I will
really
say
did.
it again, as I say it every fucking time. Uh, you know, Sinister Dexter, written by Dan Abnett. Dan Abnett is, in my opinion, one of the greatest writers that 2000 AD has ever had. So it's not for the lack of having an amazingly talented writer behind it. It's just I got nothing on those, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hate fuck read my way through both Dexters over the last 2 weeks. I can't do this. I don't care. It's like reading for school for those, when you didn't want to have to study for the test, but you got to fucking study for the test.
It is, yeah. And I always, every week I'm like, well, I could read them, and give my synopsis of the story and try to be enthusiastic about it. But if you are reading it and enjoying it, you don't want a shit version of a Cliff Notes from me. You're going to enjoy reading it. And this is more an opinion based podcast than, hey, here's what happened this week in 2000 AD. So I know we do have a few people that listen that don't read, but I'd rather not give them I don't know, some fucking stupid guy did this. And that's kind of what I do.
I was going to say, and that was your entire synopsis for the order.
Yeah, well, the order was I like to not read the order, but look at the pictures and try to make up my own stories, because I'm an idiot. I don't know what's happening in the order. I don't know.
No one does, history. Man.
I'm like, everybody's probably Benjamin Franklin only because that's the only historical figure I know, and I'm an idiot. So
it's Spencer Francis Bacon the whole time.
Yeah, right. Oh, Jesus.
I can't wait till that comes back just to hear you have a stroke on the podcast.
God damn it. At least they're not here all three in the Prog together. And we're getting our Skip Tracer and our Dexter out of the way so that maybe some other stories can come in that we will be more enthusiastic about it. I long for those days when it's, holy shit, 5 for 5.
Oh, man. That it usually hits around January, doesn't it? They're on fire in the early part of the year. So it gets that way, but sometimes in September and October. There's been a couple of those where we've been like, man, this is all killer, no filler for like 3 months. This is awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what's been all killer, no filler, at least so far, is Jaeger. I love this story. I love the art. I love that it is feeling so much like Apocalypse Now.
I can't say enough good things about Simon Colby's art in this. It is so engaging and expressive. And like I said, you can, especially in the parts when they're in the miasma, I can smell the mold and the fungus and the moss, and I can feel the heat coming off it.
And one of the big problems, like I said last week, I'll say it again this week, has always been for me, these characters are very hard to distinguish because they're like nameless, faceless soldiers. And this is cool, man. You're going to do a little forced team up. Kind of like it's almost like Apocalypse Now meets Escape from New York-ish, because the ticking clock with her blood is about to boil, and she's got to go and kind of reluctantly try to do this to save her own life. But it gives us the ability to team up two characters that look vastly different from one another, right? So instead
we can tell them apart.
Yeah. Instead of having a bunch of blue dudes hanging out together, this is a smart way to do it.
God, if we ever get Hershey and Anderson in a fucking story, you're screwed.
Yeah, I would know what's going on. No fucking clue.
And the Nords, like the character designs in this are fantastic. The Nords look great. They look menacing. I love how you can see their faces beneath the mask. It gives it this real eerie quality.
Yeah, it does, man. Yeah, and everybody, they're figuring out ways to make everybody kind of stand out, which is can be hard. It can be hard in stories where, like when we started reading Department K, everything was amazing looking. The designs were cool, but it took a while to get the characters' personalities down. And I feel like in some ways, even like this is even working a little bit better in that department with all of the hurdles it has to jump with having characters that, have the potential to look samey.
Yeah, it's a lot what you get with Judge Dredd. That's why usually most of the other judges you see without their helmets, so you know which Joe is Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one panel, and I'm trying to find it. It's in this week's chapter of Jaeger where Claire, or was it Claire? What the hell's his name? The guy at the axe.
Big axe man.
Yeah, his name is Clar. There's a panel of him coming up out of the miasma behind another trooper with his axe. And my God, if that wasn't a cover for like a Jungle Rot album, it could have been.
Yeah, it's the panel where the guy's got like the weird ceremonial kind of stick mask face. Yeah.
Fucking, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man. And then he, like, the bottom of the page, he's hallucinating, and the other person tells him, Sergeant Yagiri has been dead for 8 years. And then Clar just matter-of-factly says, I would like to report the psychotropic agents in the miasma environment are most definitely a real thing.
Yeah.
Just very matter-of-factly about it. Yeah. I love the Apocalypse Now story. I love the art. I'm enthralled. I want to see where we're going because our Colonel Kurtz analog here wants to save New Earth by killing everyone that's not him or the Nords. So very peaceful plan.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to look forward to this one more and more. And I don't know. We've certainly read stuff. We've read Jaeger before, and we've read a lot of stuff in this universe. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the setting. Again, I'm such a huge fan of Apocalypse Now, and I think they're capturing a lot of things as like some of the best 2000 AD stories. Take something cool, something that we've always really enjoyed. Like it's like what they did with Hookjaw. Jaws was fucking awesome. We want a version of that, but something cooler. And they kind of did this like Apocalypse Now, but everybody's super cool. And it's good, man. Very good.
And then the last thing we get in this week's Prog is a nice poster of Alan Grant with our beloved Johnny Alpha and Wolf. Sorry. And we got Ace Trucking in the background. So it's a good, and Alan's holding on to Gronk.
Yeah. So, man.
It's a good, and Mac just posted in the chat because Mac is actually up on his details, unlike your two befuddled hosts here. Coming up, we have the Judgment Day multiverse crossover with the Magazine Zombie event and Prog 2300.
So maybe we just need to think about jumping on and reading the magazine for this next, at least for the next couple months, so that we can be up on that rather than having to go back and catch up after people remind us that that's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm thinking about subscribing. I just need to find a place where I can jump in, where I can read all the stories. Do they have a jumping on, Meg?
Well, the place to jump in, I guess, is wherever the story that we appear in starts. We start right there and just catch back up. Yeah.
And Mac just said jumping on Prog 2301. We have a new Hershey, so you'll be hopelessly confused. And Chimsky's Law. So Noam's coming back.
See, Mac's got all the fucking info.
I'm glad he's here, man, because I was not studied up for today's episode, as you can tell.
When Mac eventually starts his own podcast, he's going to put us out of business because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
He's going to take over this one.
Yeah, I that's my hope, is like we can be like, and now the facts with Mac,
Dude, I would be so open to having Mac having a segment on the podcast.
Yeah.
If we could find the time that would work.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I'm with it.
It would free us up more to yell about wieners.
Yeah. Right. So Mac, have your people call our people, and let's make this deal happen. We'll see what kind of perks we can give you on your signing bonus.
We'll give you discounts we'll give you a coupon. We have a coupon good for 50% off nothing nowhere.
Yeah.
It's an adventure. You can figure out where it works, but it doesn't work anywhere.
Just like all great 2000 AD related coupons. We're never letting it go. We're never fucking letting it go.
I will grind that axe. I got when I bought the magazine, I got a fucking random one in my account. And I was like, wait, this thing's not going to work on the magazine, right? This is going to be that shit again.
Yeah. Mine is my tombstone is going to say, "Here lies Heavy Metal Kid. His fucking coupon didn't work."
Can we bury you with one if you go before me?
Yeah, yeah. And I'll get to the fucking river Styx, and it won't even work there.
You can't get across the river, man.
No. So, hey, but as much as the 2000 AD coupon is a total pile of fucking horse shit, or at least it was back when we started trying to use them. 2000 AD rules. It's great right now. We're not comped or paid to say that. And hey, man, it's worth our time and your time every week. So thanks for tuning in. And that's it. I ain't got nothing else, man. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Make sure you support Hiya Toys so we can get that fucking Judge Heston figure, and I might be able to get a Dirty Frank. Buy them. Yeah. We're not endorsed by Hiya, but we're giving our seal of approval to the figs because we know you've been waiting for that. So there it is.
Yeah.
So on that note, hey, shit, we got a show to play together Friday. I just remembered that.
That's true. Yeah.
Actually, I'm sure we'll be talking about this shit then. So I'll see you then. And we'll catch the rest of you next Wednesday-ish, I think. Until then,